Welcome back to another episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. It's your boy AJ.
It's Eli.
Oh my God. Welcome back.
Hey man, look, short and sweet to the point. Ain't no need to prolong this. They know who I am right now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We know who you are, Eli. You the father, you know what I mean? The dad of two. You know what I mean? They don't know who I am no more because I'm a
Hey
fucking
man, you
father.
brand new out here.
Yeah, I'm now a father of three.
Good gracious. How you feeling, son?
Oh,
Hey,
man.
look, your life done changed since we tried to drop an episode.
Man, what? I remember we tried to drop an episode and it was like, oh, we're gonna drop it when I come back from Egypt. It's been all kinds of shit going on in life,
Boy,
man.
you went over there to the motherland area and just changed your whole life.
Nah, I went to December last year when I went to somewhere for somebody's birthday, changed my life.
Well, I mean,
That's what happened.
they taught us different methods, but you just said forget it.
Yeah, I remember for the longest I kept saying, I'm not going to be a father after 40. I'm not going to have kids after 40. My baby was born on August 4th.
Yeah, man.
September 23rd, I turned 40.
Oof.
So,
you beat the deadline.
yeah, I beat the deadline, but this shit's dead now. This is a wrap. This is a wrap. By the time this season ends, there'll be a whole new story about me never having kids again. You ain't
even put that on the docket yet.
So I did, but I it's funny. I scheduled the appointment, but now I got to change it because it's falling on the date that I may have a speaking engagement from the podcast. Which is funny,
hold on. Let's celebrate where you are right now. So tell me how you feeling, man, because you got to get reacclimated, readjusted. I mean, all that new stuff has to come back. So how have you adjusted to all that?
How am I feeling?
No, I said how you adjusting. I don't care about how you feel.
How am I adjusting?
Yeah, your feelings don't matter.
I mean, I feel as though I'm adjusting fine. It's like a saying. It's what they say. If I cry, what a baby's going to do? Like I have no choice but to adjust. Like I don't. I feel like I'm doing fine adjusting. It's. I guess the hardest adjustment is going to be making sure that now I have not the time to split between the three kids because that's. I mean that's second nature. That is, but it's making sure that I make sure I have the time for the three kids and the mom. So that's a whole.
This is her first, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you come in as a vet. You got a rookie. How you juggling that? Because that's a lot. Not only, I'm not gonna say teach, but sometimes it's more so falling back because it's a lot of knowledge that you may have, but she ain't probably trying to hear a lot of the stuff you got to say
At all.
Yeah.
At all. So like that first child, the nervousness, the angst, don't put the seatbelt on too tight because you might you hit a stop sign, the baby head might come off, like all this type of stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
This is, and I can't just be like, listen to me, I know better. It's like, all right, I know these mistakes are going to happen, but I also got to try to make sure I keep my patience and allow the mistakes to happen. You know what I mean? I don't mean mistakes like, well, I know I could say mistakes because we all fucking parents. We know what the fuck I mean. Like we make mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's true. But that is not always taken as a positive because you can say that at the wrong time. And it's like you attacking.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. That's why I said, we've been parents for a while. Fuck it, we make mistakes. Like see that's that first time. Like I gotta not say or make sure I word certain things and like just be a little more understanding that certain things aren't just naturally second nature.
Yeah. Of course.
And it's a little different acclimating now because I've had no time off. My first kids were born it was during a time when I was off from tax season. I
Right.
own my own business. I'm home every day. Like I get up with them. I do whatever. I have no issue. Like it is because I'm a stay at home dad until tax season comes around. Whereas this time, 5 o'clock in the morning, baby's with me, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Right.
10, 11, and I'm doing this all while I'm blessed to be able to work from home. I'm doing this while holding the baby and two monitors in front of us.
Oh
So
wow.
like, it's just it's
So
stuff to get acclimated
let me
to.
ask you this. This is the question that I always want to know. So where is the baby sleeping primarily? Has she invaded your room yet?
Well, of course she's
Your
in the
bed.
room. So the whole time before the baby's born, of course, it's the no, the baby ain't gonna sleep in the bed with us. That's not gonna happen. We're not gonna be doing that. And of course, like every night I wake up, baby's in the bed. I mean, I wake up, the baby's right beside me, beside
Right.
the mom, or if I look over, and right there on the mom's chest. Like it's just that's just
That's
where the
funny.
baby sleeps.
That's
That
funny.
whole we're not gonna have the baby in the bed lasted about 2 or 3 days, and it took a while for my baby to come home because it was a NICU baby.
Mm-hmm.
Baby came out early, and so just that whole adjustment, and you already had that separation anxiety of these other 2 weeks while I couldn't be with my child at all.
Right.
Now
Right.
I want her in the bed. I have
Well,
no problem with that.
we definitely gonna get into that. But speaking of good night, come here. Tell everybody good night because you about to go to bed. Tell everybody say hey.
Hey.
Say hey. That's all
What's
you gotta
up?
say. He said how football going?
I'm good.
Good.
You
All
want
right.
to do
Well,
some
tell
push-ups
everybody
before you
good
go to
night.
sleep?
Man, that Joker tried to make a couple tackles today. He think he kind of nice, but he did fumble today. He
Oh my
did fumble
gosh.
today. Yeah, he gonna have to work on that. All right, boy. Good night. I will. I will.
Yeah,
Good
speaking
night.
on that,
But you didn't call me last night.
since time changed, you've become a football coach.
Oh man, I don't even want to talk about that. That's a whole lot of time. But we're not gonna. We'll get to that in a second. But I got something actually not kind of serious because it's again like you've been adjusting. You've been going through a lot. Now I want to talk about the the different emotional stages you went through, like you said, dealing with a NICU baby, because that's not something that I want to gloss over because there's a lot of people that deal with that, and sometimes the waiting around the unknown takes a big toll on that. And as you as a father and this being your third, how did that impact you personally?
So for me, uh, I think when the baby was in the hospital, when baby Ari was in the hospital, I think I wasn't as concerned for the baby as I was the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at that point, my emotional standpoint was just one of like, just don't break,
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
I know this is her first child, but I've never gone through the NIC. I mean, my son, had to spend time in the NICU before, but never left the hospital without my children,
Right.
you know. And so, just those nights when you come home and you used to being in that bed, she's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's not pregnant, but she's not a baby here. And
Yeah.
it's just times when you
It's like a
start to just
void.
feel, yeah, it's like it doesn't feel real, right? Like parenthood gets really real as soon as that baby gets in that house,
Right.
and that extra help and those extra hands and all this other stuff. But like being in that NICU, man, that can be, it's a very, very humbling experience
Mm-hmm.
because while my daughter was in there, like 2.5, almost 3 weeks, you know, I seen a parent in there walk past me. She was smiling, happy, and all this other stuff. And she was like, "Oh, your baby be fine. We've been in here for 2.5 months."
Oh wow.
And it's like that's rough, because every
Right.
day, I mean, I'm constantly working still. I'm doing everything still, so I would do remote days from inside the NICU.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I would go to work, go from work to football practice, with my son, and then leave and go to the NICU because it's 24 hours. Do a feeding at like 11 o'clock when she was on her schedule, 11,
Yeah.
and then I'll make sure I'm the one to feed her at 5 when she does her 5 a.m. feeding. So like
Mm-hmm.
it's just stuff like that. That's a lot. And that back and forth is you don't want to leave your child. What I didn't want to do is, no matter how tired I was, I didn't want to go a day with like not going.
Right.
But
Right.
I could see how people could. And then that's even more stressful. It's like I can't imagine my child not seeing me.
Yeah.
And it's
Whether or not she remembered it or not, it's just the principle of
yeah.
feeling like you're always there. It's like any other thing. It's like that support, even though she may not understand it, but she probably recognized your voice or recognized your face to a certain extent. But I can understand why you would want to be there.
Yeah, and it's tough though, because especially as like the dad, you have to be the pillar of strength
Mm-hmm.
for the entire family, right?
Right.
I can't run around and like, well, oh my God, what's going on? Like, why isn't she doing this? Why is she? It's just, hey, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be all right. We're
Yeah.
going to be fine. We're going to be okay. Meanwhile, having no idea what's about to happen, never experiencing this, but you got to play it off like you're a veteran. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got to just roll with it, because if I start freaking out, then God knows what's going to happen. You know?
So just in conversation, because a lot of times during these conversations we've had with different fathers, um, emotional intelligence, vulnerability, all of those have come up in these conversations. Do you think in those type of scenarios you always have to be the pillar of strength, or do you feel like sometimes you can show emotion to understand or to show that, listen, I'm strong, but I do have, it is affecting me as well. But I know how to do that, handle that, and be here for everybody else at the same time.
I feel like it's a time and place for that.
Okay.
But I do recognize and understand that, when times do get bearing on me, sometimes it's just my attitude shows it off.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm working on. And man, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I never thought about having a baby at 40, and I'm having
Well,
one
you
at
didn't. You
39.
didn't. You're
Yeah,
39.
I'm not. But when I first found out, man, I told you I almost passed out. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not even joking.
Now
I hit my head
I
on the
will
thing and
tell you
everything.
I will tell you one thing, and this is a kudos to you. Um, Especially like I said, over the last couple of years of doing this, you didn't hesitate to pick up the phone, because maybe it wasn't about getting emotion off, but it was about having conversation, and you understood that you weren't alone in anything that you was going through, which is
Yeah.
commendable. Because I can't say, especially for myself, let me speak for me, not you, but there have been times that I'll probably go through stuff like that, and I wouldn't even pick up the phone to have a conversation. Being able to have an outlet, or being able to, man, I got to go pick up this, or I got to go run this, and then I got to head back up. Those are times of release as well. You know what I mean? It's not always about, man, I'm feeling down today, or I'm this or that. It's just having outlets and conversations to kind of help us keep pushing through. And the one thing that you did do throughout all of this time, I mean, you wouldn't hesitate to pick up the phone, whether it's just for 30, 45 seconds. It was just, let me get something out. Let me talk to somebody, or just share what I'm going through right now. And that's a testament to growth, though. So that was a good job on your end.
Yeah, but I could tell you one thing that I should have done a better job of, and I think men as well should do a better job of
What's
is,
that?
um, I know I have a great circle of great
Mm-hmm.
people that I can talk to. The thing is, a lot of times those conversations, and mine was strategic as to why I didn't do it because I didn't want certain emotions to become involved
Mm-hmm.
with my woman that I, you know, but a lot of those conversations I probably should have had with her as well.
Yep.
And
And that's part of what
I
I was talking about, though. That's part of
yeah,
why I asked that question.
yeah, like I use, like we talked about before, it's important to have that circle of people around you that you can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also very important that you make sure you have that communication, understanding with your partner as well.
Yep, for sure.
During the pregnancy, I know I didn't do it, but I did that on purpose because I wanted to avoid any conflict. I wanted the baby to get here safely. Like, granted, it might not have been the best option.
Well,
I can accept and
you danced
understand
away
that.
from conflict like a tap dancer. Now I'm gonna sit here and tell the truth
Yeah.
on that one. That was
Yeah, I
funny.
mean, I was just, I just try to just take it, just keep going.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily the best way. But I do appreciate. I got to talk to somebody, or I'm gonna lose my mind. Like now I start a therapy next week, like a
Boy,
consultation. I'm telling
boy,
you,
ther-
that baby
therapy
did
long
everything
overdue for
for it.
you, boy. Now you done fell in victim, boy. Look at you.
Listen, man, this baby, this baby to change my life
Hold
completely.
on,
I
hold
start
on.
thinking about all
Hold
kinds
on,
of
hold
shit
on,
now.
hold on, hold on. Let me tell you something funny though, right? I haven't even told you this yet. How about I started therapy about 3 weeks ago? I mean, about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It is what
Listen,
it
man,
is. It was
you
funny though.
got them kids drive you crazy.
Boy, nah, Kids is an understatement, son. It's like what you
Oh,
talking about, dealing with kids and coaching.
yeah.
Like, oh my God, boy, after the day, I need therapy, a session tomorrow. I don't even want to talk about it, but yeah. So coaching is something that we've always done, whether it's basketball. For me, I coach baseball almost year round, but I got roped into coaching football. And let me tell you something. These kids are working every last old school bit of patience that I have, son. Because I almost want to put them in. I want to make them take their pads off and play tackle football just to get some type of
Tough. Oh my
assertiveness.
God. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
understand it.
man.
I
You
understand it
know,
so bad.
yeah. It's different because the techniques, the culture of football has changed drastically. Let me say it that way. And so people come up thinking because you play flag football that you can play tackle football. Nah,
Yeah.
that's not
Not at
that's
all.
not the same. Or people might
It's
think just because you big or you're bigger than other kids. That's still not the same because what I've come to realize, and this has been years, it's about heart.
1000%.
You know what I mean? And those are the types of things that we have to teach. It's like sometimes I wonder if you can teach it, but now I realize that these kids are so impressionable. I think you can to a certain extent. Now you can't coach or coach into somebody into the Hall of Fame without them having some type of talent, right? I mean
Of
that's just
course.
true. But what you can do is that you can continue discipline as far as like, look, making mistakes can repetitively without listening is a problem. So you have to learn. We have to reinforce education. You know what I mean? So it's so much that I'm learning, which I'm glad. I actually really enjoy my team. Um, but there's one thing that I see is just so different now. And so it's just a matter of adjusting coaching styles and trying to connect with the kids. But I'm starting to enjoy it. And we laugh about it all the time. I said I wouldn't coach football because this is my season off. I coach year round. I don't want to coach football. I want to sit on the side and just be one of them parents that basically record. But you tell me I yell too much. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's fine, man. And you know what's crazy? This season we're gonna. Well, I don't even want to say this season. Let me not stop lying and shit. We ain't do seasons. We just been, as you just heard. I had a baby, man. Listen, it's been a lot going on.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're going to one thing, man, and it's crazy because throughout this time, these conversations would have been great to have. It's like I say all the time, man, to these people, other people that have podcasts and put out consistently good content. I salute them because it's much harder than it looks.
Oh yeah,
to be
for
consistent.
Sure.
Like this part, we could do this. Like everybody said, we could do this podcast every day. Like we could just do this conversation every day. But then setting up this microphone and it's a lot. It's a lot.
I ain't even had time to change. I came in coaching gear, son, just to make sure we make this happen.
Yeah, look. But speaking of which, while we're talking about the stuff we do have coming up, though, since we're talking about football, we got a football player coming up this season. No, I'm gonna stop saying.
Don't even say season.
Saying this shit. We got
an episode dropping soon with some names.
With an all pro.
With an all
pro. And
here
speaking
all
of names,
pro conversationalists too.
Yeah. It was recorded a while ago, but he's a wild boy. Let's just put it that way.
Understatement.
Let's just put it that way. Yeah, but one thing I think I want to start asking people too.
What's that?
Is because I feel like we can reach people. I'm starting to think we can get whoever we want to. So I'm gonna start asking other people who they think, they would have a conversation with.
Right.
Because we asked before like who our dream guest would be, and now I just want to know. Now that I've gotten more and more into actually having real conversation, not just going for just would be weird, sensationalized conversations. Like I want to know what other people like. If you had to choose one person to have a sit down conversation with, who would it be?
That's what you want to ask people. You ain't asking me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. We already know your answers.
But let me ask you that. That's a good question. Has your view on how and who you want to have conversation with changed?
What's funny? Today is the day where I just see a clip of Sierra laughing.
I seen that same thing. And, I thought about you.
You saw I posted on our page. I want him on the show. So no, it ain't changed at all. I want Future as my number one go-to on the show.
Wow. Okay.
That hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, I hadn't really changed too much either. But I think I did. I really want to. I want to talk to Stephen A. Smith because he got 2 daughters.
Yeah, he does.
I want to talk to him. We probably wouldn't get too many words in, but I do want to talk to him.
Well, I wouldn't mind listening to him talk.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, I don't need to. I don't want to ask no sports questions though. None.
No. I don't. No. Well, this is not what we do anyway. And that's the good thing about these conversations.
Actually, I would ask him some sports questions. Like, does he ever take his, because he has done a good job, at least that I know of, like keeping his daughters out of, the social settings as far as the social media and things of that nature. But like, things like NBA Finals game, do they have any interest in that? And if they did, would you take them with you? Those type of things is what I would ask them. That's more.
Who I'm gonna reach out to?
Sports wise. Who?
This is one I ain't talking about. Just because I want to reach out to J. Cole. Because the reason being, his persona publicly has been so normal. That's what he does. He's like normal. He tries to lead a normal life. And I want to understand how he does that, having his status, and then you don't really hear much about his personal life. So what is his approach? I do want to hear that, especially with his upbringing being, from a familiar place and stuff like that. How is all that kind of tied into it? I do want to hear that. Yeah, I know, right? I wouldn't even brag about being from that part of Fayetteville. I'm sorry, but that's not. E. Smith would have sounded better, but it is what it is.
I mean, then he wouldn't be who he is. You know what I mean?
True.
So make sure you are.
So that has changed a little bit of people that I want to talk to, though.
Yeah, well, Steve, your boy. Didn't you say Steve Harvey at some point? No, you said Country Wayne. I don't know why I said
Oh,
Steve
yeah, yeah. I mean, we still had that conversation. I mean, anybody with a lot of kids, I'm always curious to hear what they got to say. For sure.
Well, if 4 considers a lot, then I would never have a lot because my days are done. My days are done.
That's going to be a whole episode right there. What was your trip like to the spot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Word.
Tales from the table.
Word. Look, hey, we can share stories now.
Listen, man, the name of this episode is content, baby. That's what I just had, man.
That's exactly what it's going to be called.
Look, we hitting all demographics. You know, we got the elementary school kid, you got the college, you know, the fucking newborns.
For sure. Yeah. And speaking of college, we got another episode that we got ready to release with a president of the school, HBCU. So that's going to be a dope conversation that we have in the tuck that's ready to drop.
And over time, we're going to have the conversation about your daughter going to your alma mater.
Yeah, that's going to be a good conversation too. I talked to her today.
Good.
Yeah, that's going to be a good conversation. It's just going to be interesting around homecoming time.
Mm-hmm. We can get all
begging up for some food.
It's crazy. We're getting old, man, because there's a lot of dads that got kids at Fayetteville State.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
For sure. A lot of our boys do. You're right. You're absolutely right. But like I said, overall, man, we got a lot of dope content and conversations that are about to drop. So just everybody start back subscribing and making sure they hit that notification bell and, you know, share the page because we have a lot of dope content on the way.
Yes, we do.
Word up. So look, that's the end of this conversation. But yo, just pay attention, be on the lookout for some dope stuff. We out.
Oh, I thought you already did.
No.
Thank you for watching another episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. I know you liked what you saw. So what I need for you to do is go back and look at past episodes. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page, Just My Baby Daddy podcast. And you can follow us on all social media at Just My Baby Daddy Pod.